In this video, I will tell you why Chinese is easier than you think. If you have ever thought about learning Chinese but you gave up before even starting, this video is for you. The characters, the tones, no alphabet. It seems impossible, right? But here's the truth that nobody talks about. Chinese is not the hardest language in the world. In fact, in many ways, it's easier than English. According to the Foreign Service Institute, mastering Chinese takes 2000 hours. Now, what they don't tell you is that if you focus on the right things, you can cut the time in half. So in this video, I'm going to give you 10 reasons why Chinese is easier than you think, because I've actually mastered Chinese in only 8 months, 8 years ago. Let's get to the first point. People will tell you Chinese characters are very difficult, but they might be difficult in the beginning. After you master a few of them, after you understand how they work, they are not just random lines put together. They actually tell you stories. So let's say you master 100 characters. Mastering 200 characters more, it's going to be way easier. Let me give an example to make you understand why these characters tell you stories. Let's take the character for rest. This is the character for rest. Of course, as you know, Ren is the first part of this character, and the second character is a tree. So it makes sense because it's a person resting next to a tree. Reason number 2. If you're learning Spanish, French, Arabic, or maybe English, you're going to encounter so many conjugation. You're going to say, I eat. If you want to talk in the present, you are going to say, I will eat if you're talking in the future, and you're going to say, I ate if you're talking in the past. Now, this doesn't happen in Chinese. In Chinese, we don't conjugate verbs, we only use some time words in order for the sentence to make sense. Third reason is something that gives you less stress. Let's say you're learning Italian or Spanish. You're going to have feminine words and masculine words. According to this, you have to change the end of the word. For example, scuola, which finishes with A, it's a feminine word in Italian, and you have to use the article. It's going to be la scuola. If it's going to be a masculine name, for example, lo squalo, which means the shark, lo is with O because squalo, it's a masculine name which ends with O. Now, we don't have all of this stress in Chinese. For example, let's say your friend, which you have a crush on, she's telling you, oh, you know, I went out with a friend. It's going to be like in English. You don't know if that friend is a she or a he. You don't know. It's very mysterious. You have to ask even more questions to understand the sex of the friend. Reason number 4, we don't have any articles. So if you want to say I bought a car, you don't have to use a. I bought a car. You just say I bought car. 我买车. 我买了车. Now, if you speak English, which I'm sure you do because you're watching this video, it's going to be easier because the sentence structure is going to be very similar in most of the cases. So, for example, in the Japanese language, sentence structure is going to be SOV, which means subject, object, and verb. Instead, in both English and Chinese, it's going to be subject, verb, and object. SVO. It's actually super logical. For example, I like Chinese food. 我喜欢中国菜. 我 means I, like, 喜欢. 中国菜 means Chinese food. Next reason, if you haven't started learning Chinese yet, you don't know about the existence of pinyin. So you see so many characters in logos and stuff, and you're like, how am I supposed to read those characters? It seems very confusing. But if you already know the existence of pinyin, you might already know that this pronunciation system is going to help you a lot to memorize the pronunciation of every and each character. So you don't need to memorize 10,000 characters to start speaking. You can actually start speaking just with pinyin, just by memorizing pinyin and tones. In fact, I have a friend who I consider a little bit crazy that he hasn't studied a single character. He just speaks Chinese without knowing any characters, just by using pinyin. Now, if you don't know what pinyin is the pronunciation system that little kids in China use to learn Chinese at the beginning. The eighth reason is that tones are not as scary as you think. You might think like, oh, I have to memorize so many tones, but if you think about it, in English, you already use tones. For example, if you say really, or if you say really, like you are going to change the pitch of the sound. The same you have to do in Chinese. It's going to change the meaning of the word if you're going to use a different tone. So it's just about practice. You have to practice a lot and you're going to master them. It's not as harder as you think. The next reason is that Chinese people are very encouraging and that they are going to help you a lot. Now, you are going to ask me, Alessia, how is this even a reason? Yes, it is a reason because let's say you are learning a North European language. Maybe you're learning Norwegian, Swedish, or maybe you're learning Danish. The problem with those languages is that you cannot just approach people in the street. You cannot approach these people from Northern Europe because they are very cold. They don't want to talk with you. They don't want to talk with the world. They are even very cold with the people from the same country as them. Chinese people will make the process very easy because as soon as they will see that you just say ni hao, that you just say hello in Chinese, they're going to be like, oh my god, you speak Chinese so well. I want to talk with you more. I want to learn about your country. I want to learn more about you. Why do you have these strange features if you have a face like mine? Because in China, they barely see foreigners, especially if you're not in Shanghai or Beijing. Now, let's say you're not in China, you are practicing from your home country. It's totally fine. I have so many friends here who are Chinese in Italy because they have opened their shops here and they don't really get along well with Italian people. But once I started speaking with them in Chinese, they were like, oh my God, like you actually understand my country. You actually know where I'm from. Oh, you've been to my city. And they're so excited to talk with me that I don't even have to beg, like, please practice with me. No, I can go there anytime. They have even invited me to the birthday party of their daughter. And they're very nice. They're always buying me gifts when they go to China. The next reason is that you don't have to be fluent to get any results. So let's say you master 100 words and you can master them in like 10 days or maximum like 20 days. You can start simple communication little by little. You will be able to introduce yourself, to flirt, to order some food, to travel. Okay, maybe to travel you need like 200 words because at the end of the day, being fluent is not the goal on day one. The goal on day one is communication, being able to say something like very little, very easy, very simple that can help you build a bridge between you and the Chinese person. And of course, next reason is that there are tons of free resources, which is not the same with so many languages because Chinese is a language in which nobody gets fluent. No, I'm just joking. People get fluent. I got fluent and you can do this too. And you can find so many free resources on the internet, starting from my YouTube channel where I teach you Chinese and where I tell you how I learned Chinese in only 8 months. In this video here, you can find all the effective methods that I have used 8 years ago. So just go and check it out. Bye bye. 再见.